Hey everybody, welcome to Astronaut Lounge. I'm Poppa Stonks, and today we have Drunk Skunks Drinking Club with us. Jay is here to represent them. I've known Jay for a while. He hosts AMAs, and Drunk Skunks has actually been around for a while as well. We'll get more into that as the AMA goes. This is a BSC project, and has NFT and token plus uh, real world utilities, real world revenue. So, without further ado, let's get into this. Jay, will you please introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your background, and then we can get into the project presentation.
Hey, thank you, Poppa. Yeah, man, it's awesome to be here in the Astronaut Lounge, bro. Thank you for inviting me and for hosting us, and thanks for hosting in the tavern the other day, co-hosting with Bromo, man. That was a great one, and just looking forward to this one too. So, yeah, my name's Jay. I'm the COO of Drunk Skunks Drinking Club, and as Poppa mentioned, we've been around for a while. So, yeah, for those of you that aren't familiar with the project, though, there's three parts to it. Again, as Poppa mentioned, it was a great intro. We've got the NFTs on BNB chain, 5,605 fully minted collection that we minted during the bear here. You know, we were proud of that because we overcame a lot with BNB chain FUD and things like, people saying that, BNB chain NFTs are no good and on and on and on. Well, we overcame all of that and just kept pushing, working, continuing development and marketing that has not stopped since we launched in October. But the project kind of goes back a little bit further, even to January. So before I get into all of that, just know that the three main parts of the project are the NFTs, the token, and then we have the in real life beer business and cannabis gummy business. So I'll kind of go into a little bit of depth on all three of those, and then obviously got to start with team because that's where I always start with AMAs, and that's where I start with researching projects. Like I make sure that that's not something that's overlooked when I'm looking into projects and trying to vet a project. And I know you always harp on that point too here and elsewhere, that's just smart investor practice, is to know your team and know who you're investing with, because long term or short term, that's going to influence your potential for profits and also safety of your investment, so that you're not getting scammed, rugged, or soft rugged, or so many times devs or project owners will just lay down after launch, or whatever that scam or exit scam happens to be. We've seen a lot. So just start with the team, know the team, and hopefully that's a good practice for research for you that will pay off well. But I'm also really proud of the team too. So for me to start with team is a point that I like to make, just about our backgrounds, and I think that we each have a great fit for our roles within the club. So as professionals in our lives, like what led up to our role within the club, I think is a perfect fit. And before I start talking about that too, all four of us are full-time crypto. We're full-time on this project, as well as active in the Telegram 24/7. We are in the Telegram. One of the four core team members will be there to answer your question. So, interact with you, hang out with you, answer questions that you might have about the project, help you troubleshoot any issues that you're having with DSDC or anything else. And that's intentional, right? I think that's a statement about our values. It's a statement that we value our community. It's a statement that we value our time on the project and want to spend it with you guys in the community as well. And also, man, it's annoying as hell to go into a Telegram and have some mod tell you, he'll DM you when he's available, sir. Like, none of that. You get an answer right from a core team member, and you get an answer right then. And if we can't get you the answer you're looking for, we'll collab with another team member who might be specializing in the area you're looking for and get back to you as soon as possible as well. So that's kind of a little bit about the four of us full-time in the space. We're very fortunate to have had successes that have allowed us to leave our professional careers and be here on DSDC. So let me share a little bit kind of about the origins of DSDC. It was January 2022, Basie's peaking hype. Jimmy Fallon and Paris Hilton are showing off their Basies on, live on TV and hyping it all up and on and on and on. So whatever your thoughts are on Basie, I'm just giving you the context of where it was at during that time when four of us are sitting around thinking, okay, what do we want to do? What's our passion project? What do we want to bring to this space? And we love NFTs. We were definitely following Basie, all four of us at the time, and we wanted to be Basie plus beer because we also love trying new beers, and not in like a snobby kind of way. We just like try different stuff and see what's out there. It's like not just the craft beer, that we like to try. Like I got a Bud Light Next right now, 0 carb, really super light, 80 calorie, 4% alcohol beer, because I want to make a skunk light down the line.
I'm gonna cut you off there, but that was
ahead,
just very disrespectful. That was very disrespectful to Budweiser. We're gonna keep it pushing, but I just wanted to interdict there. That's no. I am drinking a nice red can of Budweiser right now, so you keep on pushing.
Well, listen, the reason why I'm trying these light beers, Poppa, is because I'm looking at Skunk Light for maybe a third beer. We had talked a little bit about that.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we discussed that. Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of like, you're not feeling the next, bro. Did you try it?
No, I'm past that stage, bro. I'm gonna stick with my my tried and true, which we can get into that later. You know how I love the flavor profile of what you were talking about with the lagers.
Oh yeah, for sure, bro.
So we can get into that later. But yeah, no, I'm not going to light beer. No, we're not.
I hear you, bro.
I hear you, bro.
So this crew is really all from A to Z. We'll try whatever, and we're really kind of like that. That's the vibe that we have. So we thought, like, all right, let's obviously use the connections that we have to bring all of this to the space, and I'll get into that now because I think that's a good way to kind of segue into our backgrounds. So, for example, Randy, start with him. As our CFO, who's in charge of the beer business, has been a business entrepreneur for the past 20 years, and he started businesses from scratch and sold them for profit. Basically, retired from all that, full-time DSDC, running the beer business for us. And it's great to have a business entrepreneur, but he's done it in the beer industry, the bar industry, the restaurant industry for the past 20 some years. And he's going to flex all those connects for us for DSDC. So, all the headache and everything that you'd have starting up a craft beer business, I want nothing to, good luck, guys, if you want to try to do that. I want nothing to do with it after going through this, unless Randy's involved, because a simple thing like trying to get, a connection with a brew team, for example, or set up a brewer, it is almost impossible to get anybody to respond to you. But with Randy, not only does he have the call, somebody's picking up the call, but he's also got a relationship, a friendship with top-notch, high, quality people in the industry. So whether it be him setting up the legal team, marketing and distribution team that we have, or setting up the brew team, it's all extremely high quality at the top of the industry, at the top level that you can get, and specialized. Like our lawyer is only doing craft beer legal consulting, and we have him on retainer. So like it's as specialized as it gets, and top notch, high quality all around from A to Z. And that's because of Randy and his background. That the connections that he has have been incredible to watch them unfold. So that's a little bit about Randy. Lou is our CEO, and we all have the same, level. We're all equals here. It's 4 core team members. Our titles are just for business organizational purposes. So for Lou, he happens to have the perfect background for staking and for the development, for the numbers that he's doing as a former financial analyst and consultant. He's worked for some really nice companies and done a lot of high level work within that field. Now full-time DSDC. So he comes in with the finance lens, and that really helps when we have to manage staking and manage the staking protocol, because we have to keep it 2 things. We have to keep it high value so that it's attractive to holders and beneficial to have you give a reason to stake. And then we also have to have it be managed sustainably and long term so that we have businesses to be able to account for and to manage, and a long-term management mindset with sustainability on the focus doesn't mean shit returns, doesn't mean 3% APY. So let me go back to the very beginning and give you an example. So Lou gave an introductory forecast of 15 days for the introductory insane staking rate that we offered to attract new holders without breaking the bank. So it was that balance at the beginning, but things looked great. we were able to leverage some of the BNB that we had from NFT sales to continue that staking rate for 37 days. And everybody was very, very happy with it, loaded up their bags, and they were holding and continuing to support us and things like that as well. So I think that it's a balance between high value, high returns, and longevity and sustainability. And Lou has that combination, I think, down. But I also don't want to say that you guys read sustainability as, low returns and cutting your returns, because it works both ways. There's got to be a balance, and that's what Lou brings with his finance background. Ace is a management background in business and healthcare, and he kind of comes in with that lens as well. Very professional, organized, and everything that he does, but also very on brand. Like he'll be ready to joke around with you in the chat, have a beer with you, smoke a joint with you, whatever. He's ready to go, and he's very likable, and he's going to have a bigger role in this V2 as well. But I love that he has that background and that he can see the big picture on where we're going and professionally manage things for engagement and also just for keeping things on brand in the chat. My name is Jay. Again, I'm the COO, and I work specifically with the development and relations of the project. And you'll hear me as the voice of DSDC and all the AMAs. And, that's my background: PR, corporate America, corporate leadership, training leaders in corporate, government, and education sectors here in the US. So I'm really hyped to be in DSDC full time, and out of that, for sure, it's a much better fit for me and my personality and my lifestyle. And I just feel really fortunate to be able to do that and to bring that positivity that I feel to everybody in this space. And also, this is a fun project too. Very attractive to new holders, which is, I think, the entire point of why we're doing these AMAs, Poppa, is that I feel like we have something to offer new buyers, new holders with an attractive pre-sale. So when you see V2, don't be scared, because V2 for me usually raises a red flag. And I start to think, I've been a part of some shit V2s, and I've been a part of some amazing V2s, and I don't really want to flip a coin with my investment. So if that's where you're at, then let's, obviously dive into some of the details on why I think it's, a good opportunity for investors and all of that as well. But the two main things before I even get into a project overview, Poppa, that I want to get out there, two main things that make the V2 attractive to new buyers are this. One, the amount of tokens being migrated is very low, less than 6% of the total supply. So we gave everybody an opportunity to exit the project, sell off their V1, or they could turn in their V2 tokens for the migration and commit to the V2. So that was part of the reason why we have a holder base that's ready to hold. Of that less than 6% of the supply, I would say the vast overwhelming majority of those people aren't even going to check their wallets on launch day. They're that committed to the long-term growth of the project. And that's not lip service. Get in the Telegram and ask and start talking to people and interacting, and you'll see the OG holders that we have will back that up. The second thing that makes it super attractive to new buyers as a pre-sale that's a V2 is the value-based migration. So $100 in Stink V1 gets you $100 in Stink V2. So there will be no freshly created massive whales as a result of a one-to-one token migration that creates a large amount of newly found whales with all of this profit of unrealized gains that they have to sell on the chart, because they can't pass up a crazy overnight 20, 30x that happens sometimes on one-to-one token migrations, which also, obviously, if we did that, we would have had to include vesting, which pisses a lot of people off. But I think that this is going to be a very clean way to do the Stink V2, and I'm really proud to be able to offer that pre-sale. But I just wanted to get those things out there about team and then about V2 before I get into the project too much, Poppa. But I'll pause if you got any questions for me. Plus, I got to drink some of this beer.
Yeah, drink some of that beer, man. Take a couple sips, bro.
Let's go.
So let's just dive into this real quick a little bit. Where to start? All right, so right now, I mean, as far as just project overview, so this project is kind of basically like a meme. It's got a meme aspect, but it's got real world utilities, real world returns coming back in. So yeah, when you say it's ideal for a first timer, it kind of is. It gives them the best of both worlds. now let's go with this migration. So there was only 6% migrated. Um, what was the, what was the timeline that people had to migrate? Like, what was the deadline? And are people still able to migrate if they came in, after not checking for obviously like 3 4 months? um,
Yeah, yeah, those are good
which
questions.
which I see all the time. I see this all the time.
Sure.
Uh, and they're just gonna completely just flood the chat. And they're gonna say, "Oh well, that's you guys robbed me. You didn't migrate me. I didn't know, this and that." What was the timeline for this migration?
We gave them weeks, Papa, weeks, weeks. Yeah. And so, at the same time, I'll say this, that, it's a tough thing from a project owner standpoint, because like you need to try to hold a deadline, right? Or else you can't get anything done. And you kind of
Mm-hmm.
have to stick with a deadline with stuff to migrate, or else, how can you migrate LP, right? How can you migrate your LP for the purposes of the V2 migration without a deadline? So we put a deadline on it, but
Right.
we gave everybody, plenty of time ahead of that. And I will just tell you too, like DSDC is a fun, friendly, like open project that's not in the business of screwing anyone over. So if there's somebody out there listening that still has some tokens, you hit me up ASAP. I'll help you get sorted out. There's not a lot of options for you now in terms of, if you want to sell your V1, the market cap obviously is super low as a result of draining the LP. But I'll sort you
Right.
out. I'll help you out. I'm not in the
Yeah.
business of screwing anybody over. We haven't been, from the start. So
100%, man. And
yeah,
that was a great answer. Just wanted to get that out there, um, because just the other day, I witnessed a migration that happened, and it was announced, and it was announced not just in their TG, it was all over Twitter. It was in every TG I'm in, like every lounge. It was it was posted in, and so it was it was pretty crazy when as soon as it happened, as soon as they drained the LP and the people that didn't send their tokens in because for some reason they didn't check their investments. Um,
yeah,
they all came flooding in. They all came flooding in. So
it's a tough balance.
this is
It is.
already, yeah, but this has already happened. You already drained the LP a while ago, so I just wanted to get that out there that that's really not an issue.
Yeah, it won't be an issue with us. We'll sort it out. Like I said, if there's some stragglers coming in, we'll make it work. I mean, one way or another, we'll get you tokens, because I feel like in my position, like if I was in that position as an investor, I mean, I try to only actively invest in a handful of things so that I can manage that
Hmm.
sort of thing. Like for me to invest, it's really not, obviously state, whatever your big investments or whatever your big holdings, if you're investing in the big ones, of course, and holding that. I hold a lot of BNB, but if I'm looking at altcoins, I'm really only holding a few, so I can keep track of that. But not everybody has that mindset. So just think about it as yourself. Like, how would you feel? You'd feel pretty shitty. You'd feel kind of screwed over if you missed a date, and it's tough. So we get that, but it's also tough because we need dates in order to move things forward. So it's that balance. But like I said, we'll sort anybody out. We'll help them out. We'll work it out. We want like
100%.
positivity. We want like holders that are going to go, man, that guy did the right thing. He sorted me out, and then that person goes out and promotes it intrinsically, like on their own, right? Because that's just like that's the vibe that we
Well,
have, like
exactly,
that's what
exactly.
we
They're
want.
gonna go out there and be like, "Hey, these motherfuckers are based." That's what they're
Yeah,
gonna say. These dudes are
exactly.
based. They took care of me when they didn't have to. Getting passive income from the tokens and the NFTs. Yeah, I mean that's gonna create a lot of hype. That's
And
gonna help
conversely,
out in the long
it
run.
will screw you over, right? Like there's a story that goes back to a long ways ago with the SDC, but uh, we had an issue with a claim and things like that, and we had to reduce the rate and claim all, and that's part of the reason why I'm focused on improving staking with an all-in-one DApp as well, as you can see on my graphic here. But that's part of the V2 process, is pressing pause, taking control back, all bringing everything back to DSDC. But, kind of going back to some of the staking issues where we had to manually sort every single one. So, a guy had DM'd me about an issue that he had. I looked up his wallet. We told people to claim daily to help out with this issue while we were troubleshooting it. He hadn't claimed a single time. He hadn't listened to anything that we asked him to do. Despite all of that, I was added his wallet to a spreadsheet to sort it. But in the meantime, this guy spazzed out, turned around, unstaked, sold his stink, listed his NFTs, dumped everything, and then went and flooded us literally everywhere. And live during an AMA that we had, he was flooding us. And I said, bro, you're on the reimbursement sheet for stink. Can you hold your freaking pants on, bro? So anyway, conversely, I just wanted to say that can have the opposite effect, right? With people going out and going, now go back to this guy. This was over $12. so like, it doesn't matter the dollar amount. We'll sort everybody, and everybody that needed it was all, including this guy that I'm referencing. Everybody was sorted. There's not a person out there that wasn't sorted that we are aware of that hit us up or anything like that. So, we stand behind all that, and we'll do the same thing, like with the question you just posed to us.
Yeah, definitely, man. All right, well, so let's get back into the presentation. Tell us a little bit more about the real world businesses. What's going back into the token side? How is that benefiting the token side, the token holders?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. I can start to kind of get into the why V2 and then each of those three elements. Let me cruise through this in case we just want to talk and shoot the shit back and forth a little bit too, Poppa. So,
it might take. I'm gonna let you go, because last time, this could go for 3 hours if we really do that. So yeah, I'm gonna let you finish the presentation. I'm gonna let you go ahead and finish that, and then we'll get into the rest.
I can accelerate it a little bit too, because you've heard this talk before, and I don't want to get into too much redundancy, but there's some new stuff I want to share, and also for
everybody else needs to hear it. So
yeah,
everybody else needs to hear it. So yeah, go ahead and finish the presentation, and I've already got all the questions I'm going to ask anyway. So
all right, brother, sounds good. Yeah, so for the V2, why V2? For us, I mentioned a little bit about that, but the enhanced contract functions will allow us to improve staking, get an all-in-one DApp. But listen to this, guys. We go back to October for this, and I wanted to talk about this. I didn't share this in the CCRMA just simply because I forgot, and also I don't want to include it on a graphic because I'm not trying to FUD anybody or anything or create any issues. But I do want to go back to October, and I feel like we got the best deal possible negotiating with Seifu devs. We contacted 5 or 6 of Pink Sale's Seifu devs, and we got the best deal, all around best deal. But here's what happened. At the time, there was a real strong bullish trend for Seifu projects. You got trending. You got priority on Pink Sale. They put you, the best possible trending scenario, and they pushed you to the top. So Seifu projects were really bullish at the time. So we wanted to have Seifu audit and KYC badges. In order to do that, you have to have a Seifu dev, and you have to follow the terms that Pink Sale had set out and everything. But long story short, it included a 1% tax on the token that went straight to the dev that coded the contract. So we had kind of been under the impression that it was like for launch and everything. We could change taxes since we had that in the contract to be able to alter the taxes and change them. However, professional misunderstanding, or whatever you want to call it, that dev kind of held strong. That 1% tax was forever. So guys, imagine trying to run a project with an in real life business that wants to go low tax or no tax, and having that hanging over your shoulders, right? Or just impeding your ability to progress as a project. So this escapes that 1% Seifu dev tax that we were going to have to pay forever, right? I mean, that this completely escapes it with the V2. That's one of the bigger reasons why when we shift our focus to low tax and long-term success and longevity, that we need a V2. We need a relaunch, and we need to escape that, so we will no longer have that. It'll give us the option to go ultra low tax and no tax, which will get us some real big eyes on our project here. If you guys know how things have been going with CG and bots trading and volume, it's going to just give us a great opportunity, as well as be attractive for buyers. I love no tax. I love no tax launches, or when they go 24 hours after launch, no tax, and hopping in on a dip. I mean, I love that as an investor. So stay tuned for a lot of that stuff that we're able to do now as a result of escaping that 1% SAFU tax. So think whatever you want about that. I'm not funning anybody about it. I'm not blaming anybody about it. Just positivity moving forward. We get to escape it. And moving forward on that too, we also get to further the mission that we have for Pay with Stink. So right now, as our partnership with Zob, we have the ability to be able to buy Stink, use Stink to convert Stink to gift cards at thousands of retailers worldwide. So, that's a great option for holders to be able to pay with Stink. But the big picture mission of Pay with Stink is be able to buy your beer, buy your merch, buy your cannabis gummies, buy your NFTs, pay all the in-game upgrades and NFTs in the virtual bar, in the Skunkverse, in our games that we're going to have that you can use Stink for. And I think that that's the mission, Pay with Stink, furthering that along, allowing us to add those functions to the contract that we need, allowing for the game development to happen simultaneously with the finalization of our contract has been a great process to watch unfold, and will allow for that smooth integration that we need into our Skunkverse, because we've got big picture plans for that, and a structure similar to Basie's Dookie Dash with the upcoming game series that we're going to be dropping, as well as a fun interactive way to get into the Skunkverse, customize your skunk, and interact in our happy hours in the Skunkverse at our virtual bar, and really just create a user experience that's fun, upbeat, and creates nice use case and utility for Stink. So loading up Stink with utility for the V2, I think, will ensure longevity of the project and allow us to market at so many different angles too. So that's Pay with Stink. That's the big picture goal. Keep everything in the ecosystem. In addition to that, with the relaunch, we wanted to make a couple different statements about how we value these V1 OG Skunks NFTs. So all of our holders will get a free upgraded NFT that has just a nice new style. It's fresh, it's fuzzier, but it's also really, really a lot of I think, a huge art upgrade. So the OG Skunks will get updated NFTs, V2, no charge, and also no hassle. All we do is update the metadata, and boom, you got your upgraded NFT right in your wallet. You don't have to do anything. No airdrops, no claim forms, no Google forms, no bullshit. Just a click, update metadata, and boom, you got it. So that's a statement too about, our value for the OG Skunks, but it's also DSDC set a lot of trends when we minted out, and what we did along that path, and how we pushed Stink to all-time highs. So for those of you that were following the project from the beginning, it allows for very unique opportunities to market and create moonshots for the other aspects of the project to lift them up as we market and push the other avenues. For example, when we minted out the NFTs, Stink hit an all-time high. Before that, when Stink hit an all-time high, it pushed the NFTs to mint out. So now imagine having that third component to the project to push marketing for, the in real life beer business and in real life cannabis gummies. So there's so many more consumers of those projects than their products than there are investors in cryptocurrency. Less than 5% of the world's invested in crypto. Imagine how many more beer drinkers you got out there. And that is an audience that we are going to target and bring them in as investors, as new holders. So how do we do that? Look at the marketing potential for beer. If you're a beer drinker and you're not invested in crypto, we've all probably been there one way or another. How do you target them? On every can, bottle, label, everything we got, every promotion day that we do, every beer fest that we do, every public event that we do, every real life product sponsorship opportunity that we have will be twofold. One, to promote the beer going live wherever we're at, and then two, to promote the project by bringing new investors in. So it's a huge target audience that we can market to. And, so a QR code on every one of those that says you want your next 6-pack free, scan here for your opportunity to win free beer. Something that's going to grab your attention as a beer drinker, draw you into this space, and create new holders from a potentially limitless expansion opportunity for this project. When you think about it, those two products, cannabis gummies and beer, craft beer in the US, are huge markets that we can tap to bring in new holders. And I love it. I'm obsessed with the projects like that have limitless potential for growth. And that's kind of how I view DSDC. With our marketing plan and the way that we've been doing things, I do view it as a limitless potential for growth. And if you're a holder, reason to buy pre-sale, grab a bag of stink and hold it, because you know what's coming. When we go to tokenize profits and share those profits from the beer business back to our holders, share the cannabis gummies profits back to our holders, we're going to tokenize those profits. So that's going to impact you on the chart because your value of your tokens will go up, but we're sharing tokens back with you. So your bag's going to get bigger. And I believe that 1-2 punch is what's going to rocket fuel stink and create a high value for our pre-sale buyers when our pre-sale opens tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. UTC. That's going to be a big reason and a big point that I'll harp on to get our buyers aware of that opportunity. So the NFTs, that's a little bit about the NFTs. As far as the BNB chain NFTs go, I believe that we were number one in every single metric on BNB chain, at the top of NFT keys metrics and every other marketplace that we were on. We dominated the metrics and the analytics on those, as well as made a ton of connections while being at the top that I think benefit our holders now as we continue to market out this and our fresh mint coming up on 420 for Skunks, which I'll talk about a little bit more. But that's the art upgrade, and I think we're setting that trend. I don't know anybody else that has done that on BNB chain, to create higher quality art and then give everybody a free update with metadata. So Poppa, I can talk about the token a little bit now. Talking about Stink V2. Here's our audit, guys. CoinSalt. Obviously, an important component to doing your own research is looking at the audit. So if you want to view the full audit, come into our Telegram. I'm just giving you the quick, Cliff Notes version of it. It is flagged as 3 low-level risks. What does that mean? That means like nitpicking coding issues that they say this could be cleaner, this could be. They don't even recommend that you adjust them. All right. So contact CoinSalt. They're very active on Telegram. They've been around the space quite a bit. They're very well known and respected. So hit them up if you have any questions about it. But look at the medium risks 0, high risks 0. Those are medium risk represent potential security risks. We have none. And high risks, you'd fail an audit because it would be a major security issue or a red flag within CoinSalt's protocol to flag those risk issues. So this is what's considered 100% clean audit. But if you have any questions, like I said, there's people there to help you out, to kind of ease your mind, or if you have any questions to elaborate on anything, get in our Telegram and check it out, or hit up CoinSalt. They're happy to answer any questions. I'm proud of this audit. I think it's clean and it's ready to go. So a little bit about the business now. Third component to this, the cannabis gummies and also the Drunk Skunks Drinking Club Pale Ale and Drunk Skunks Drinking Club Lager, which will go live for commercial sale Q2 in the US. And I'm really big on that too, because guys, that's such a huge. What's that?
Well, hang on, bro. You wait till the end, man. Go ahead, Jay.
Okay, all right. So that's such a big point too to make, that we have this as part of our staking protocol to return profits as our profit sharing model, the tokenized profits, share them back with holders. I believe that is a huge piece to the DSDC ecosystem that you should definitely participate in via staking, because not only is that coming from an outside revenue stream, which will stabilize staking protocols. And I think that any kind of staking protocol that doesn't have an outside revenue stream is just a Ponzi or just a recycled, kill your chart type of plan. For us, it's about injecting profits back into the ecosystem from an outside revenue stream that is recession proof. Think about alcohol sales in the US. They're recession proof. People drink when they're sad. They drink when they're happy. They drink to celebrate. You drink when times are tough. You drink when times are good. But even the inverse has been shown to be true, that people drink more when times are tough. So even better during tougher times, right, for alcohol sales. So it serves as a hedge for the volatility of the markets that we live in, that we operate in. And I believe that it coming from an outside revenue stream is a positive, but a recession-proof outside revenue stream is even better for our holders and even better for the longevity and stability of the ecosystem. So that's what we plan to do. I just shared our business registration with you real quick there. But some of the graphics for the logger and the can I love, and I'm not the only one that loves it. Our distributor, who's number one in the 6-state territory here in the U.S., is also very bullish and committed to buying the first commercial run in its entirety and then selling it to retail from there. So, not only do we have a great distribution plan, but we also have kind of already locked that in. So when you're asking about the pre-sale funds, as an example, where are those going? We do not need the pre-sale funds to fund the run that I'm talking about, that first commercial run. However, I'm holding on it until we close the pre-sale because I want to maximize the scope, size, reach, and pace that we're able to do the first batch and the first run on. So when you're thinking about the project in general, just know two things. That one, we don't need the pre-sale to fund those businesses. They're both fully funded for the first commercial run of each. And two, your funds, will vastly accelerate the process in terms of pace and scope. So we'll basically, what I'm trying to say is we'll brew a bigger batch and we'll get it out faster and we'll get it to more people. And we'll get it in more hands and we'll get it on the shelves quicker based on the size and scope of our pre-sale. That's all we want to do. So that's another opportunity for the V2 is to just get these in real life products accelerated and blown up quicker. And that's what we plan to do with this V2, with this pre-sale. In addition to the DSDC logger, we have 3 extremely high quality products. And we talk about the quality of the relationships with our business partners that we have. This is one I've got to give a shout out to Lou. He's been the financial analyst consultant for one of the biggest legal THC, hemp-derived THC and CBD producers in the United States out of Texas. He's been, had that business relationship with them for years now. And because of that relationship, he just happened to broach the topic one day, and they're actually NFT investors themselves. So it was an easy kind of relationship to build with them. Not only that, they love the NFTs, they love the project, and they're giving us full support of their legal connects and distribution and marketing connects to push this product out because they love it. They love DSDC. So again, it was hugely bullish to get that reception and that feedback from people that are easily going to tell you, hell no, this is horrible. Get out of here. That they have no reason or no benefit to give you access to all that, unless they believe in it, unless they think it could moon. And so I'm really bullish because of those receptions and who we're getting them from. So let me talk about these 3 products because I'm hyped up about them. We have 3 really balanced products, I believe, for an initial run. We've got a CBD non-psychoactive product that is Randy's PFP, and it's chill. So it'll be a broad spectrum CBD product that we'll offer. We offer also my product, which is the Buzz, which is my PFP. They're all our product, but I'm just saying this has my PFP on it. It's a Delta 8 legal THC product. Nice buzz on that, so that's why it's called Buzz. And we have Heal, which is a 5-to-1 THC to CBD product. It's a nice balance. We call it Heal because of the positive benefits it can have for your health in terms of the entourage effect. So not medical advice, do your own research on that one. But also know that we've got a nice balance, a CBD product, an all THC product, and then a CBD and THC combo. And I love it. I think that it's a great way to introduce these cannabis products to our holders, but also to introduce DSDC to the cannabis gummy industry and have that kind of reciprocal relationship back and forth between the two. So kind of a quick intro there just to talk about how these will be tied. Then I think the next piece, Poppa, is to talk about how those gummy products are tied to the Skunks collection, which drops 420. And I can kind of get into that, how that layout really includes staking, right? So for us, the separation and clarity of that business model for us is that the OG Skunks you stake for beer profits, the Stone Skunks you stake for cannabis gummy profits. And I think that that's the idea that we have at the core, is to separate those and provide utility with outside revenue streams coming in and give you that opportunity to hold stink and receive profits as well, because stink can be staked. And also these 2 products, the OG Skunks and the Stone Skunks, can be staked for revenue sharing, for profit sharing, from what I had just mentioned. So Stone Skunks goes live 420. We're also talking about that a little bit. That's our mint date, our all-day party. Whatever you got to do, get a babysitter, call off work, call in sick, whatever you need to do, man, put that on your calendar. 420 is going to be lit. We're gonna have an all-day party. It's a great day anyway, but it's a great day to party with DSDC. So I hope you guys can make it because we're going to be doing giveaways and having some serious hype around the 420 opening mint. That's a little bit about the project, Pop. I think I kind of gave an intro to the three aspects of it. And now I can kind of talk about the pre-sale if you want, or I can pause and take any questions you got up to this point. Whatever you want to do.
You know what? I mean, you caught me at a bad time. I just kind of stepped out here, smoked a cigarette.
Well, let me keep going, man. Finish your
No,
smoke, man.
no, man. To get you a drink of beer. You know, I know
Oh
you
yeah.
need it after all that. Go ahead and take a drink of beer. Um, let's get into shit. Hang on. Fuck, I'm taking the cigarette inside.
You're good, bro.
All right. So now people are we pay with stink for some of these. You know, that's the end goal is to pay with stink for these online purchases of the the consumables, the beer, the gummies, and whatever might come in the future, the merch. What happens to that stink? What is it? What happens to it? Is it burned? Is it thrown in a staking pool? Where does it go? Is it sold on the chart? Because obviously this is a business. People are paying for products. You've got to pay for them yourselves. If everybody's paying in tokens, they're going to have to be sold. So how does that work?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think it's two separate things, right? So for us, initially, until we can move towards a stable type of model, right, which we do have long-term plans to do. But before we can do that, then yes, it'll be an absolute moonshot opportunity for people while we tokenize the profits via a buyback on the chart, right? So yeah, that comes with the potential to have people need to take profits, which we're obviously holding, and we have, as we did before, continued to sustain the chart via buybacks and things of that nature as well. But that is a temporary type of fix for the bigger problem that you're alluding to. So we do have obvious plans to move towards a stable coin to reward holders in, right? And we have established Stinky as an LP-less reward token for transaction purposes that will take some of the pressure off of the chart. So as you read our white paper and check out our docs, it's also important to note that relationship between Stinky and Stink. Stinky is inflationary, Stink is deflationary. And the reciprocal relationship between the two are key for the sustaining of the ecosystem. And as we move towards establishing ourselves as a business in compliance with everything the SEC is throwing at us, bro, I mean, we're going to have to maintain absolute transparency and compliance with them. But to answer your question, yeah, initially those profits, I think, are going to be, realized, and gains are going to be taken as we go. We'll continue to sustain things through buybacks. But tokenizing those profits initially will take place via buybacks on the chart. And then in order to, you also asked about the merch and how those transactions will take place. So like paying with Stink and buying the merch, buying the beer, buying the gummies, and all the transactions that take place in game will give us an opportunity to have that Stink and to have the options to continue to do what we did in the past with those holdings, which is create an opportunity to burn and also to return to staking. So we, in the past, used those funds 50-50 burn and 50-50 burn staking. And so in a way that is kind of like us making a statement too, that both those avenues are returning profits to holders in one way or another. So like we're not using the fees, for BNB. Like when we had the toxic beer sales, we had one whale that bought $16,000 worth of toxic beers, and that Stink was returned to the chart via the staking protocol, and also it was returned via burn. So we do have big burn plans as well as staking. So to answer your question, staking, burn, and then long-term progress towards a more sustainable, stable model.
Oh shit! I wasn't even muted the whole time. I just muted myself. All right.
But the two token economy model that we have is really, I think, clutch to answering that question, right? So it's really kind of about the relationship between Stink and Stinky via the different staking methods that we have to be swapped or traded for BNB, right? The LPs created post-launch for Stinky when we are ready for it.
All right. Yeah. Yep. Basically, it's a pretty simple model. Um, let's see. You touched on the no funds were needed for the the first commercial batches of the products. What is the overhead and profit for those products, and how are you guys getting paid back on the the initial run?
Yeah. So are you talking about what is our profit, like our price points and things like that for the commercial run of
Yeah, I
the
mean
DSDC 100?
you're putting the money up for the initial runs on the commercial products. Um, so what is kind of what is your burn rate as far as that goes, and the profit percentage? That's gonna some of it's gonna have to go back to you guys, correct? Or are you not gonna? You're just donating.
No, so it is a revenue sharing model that's based on tokenization. So for us, we'll obviously have to have our net profits that we return to holders in order to continue, obviously the longevity of the project. Then, our gross profits will include the next batch, right? So we have to, pay for the next commercial batch as a business and ensure the longevity that we actually have product to continue to sell. So, once net profits are realized and those gains are there, then those products or those will be tokenized back into the chart. But for us, yeah, absolutely, we have to have the business management and the foresight to be able to buy our next commercial run of beer, which hopefully will continue to get bigger and bigger as the goal as we expand. But first off, yeah, we're going to have. And what did you ask me initially, Poppa? You asked me about the
No, the initial the initial funds from
price.
for the for the first runs of the commercial products. So for the first runs of the beer, the first runs of the gummies, those are coming from you, the team.
We've had that funded since October. Yeah. So before we even launched this
Okay.
project, I'm not going into anything promising a beer unless I can fund it myself. So we came in with those
Right.
funds established just from the four of us, and so we've
Yeah.
had
So
that.
my question was, are you getting paid back for that, or was that just an initial donation to the project? Because those were personal funds. So are you going to be taking a percentage of the of the profits from the from the initial runs? Are you going to be taking a percentage of that to pay yourselves back, or is that just or are you just kind of chalking that up as part of the project's expenses?
So yeah, we're not planning on for the beer side of thing. We're doing the same thing that we've done the whole way along, which is like continue to reinvest our profits into this business, because I think that that's a hallmark of any good startup. If you don't have to slit your throat of the business to pay yourself, a salary or to cut yourself money as a startup, it's a huge advantage, and it's the reason why we were able to do what we did with the NFTs in the first place. People are going, how did you mint these out? How did you mint this on BNB chain and everything else? And if you watch what we did, I mean, we continued to have bigger AMAs and bigger marketing every time we would continue the mint, because those funds were going back into the project. We wouldn't have been able to do like Binance AMAs as a BNB chain project with a 0.15 mint price. We wouldn't be able to do Binance AMAs, Caesar, and all the big AMAs and everything else that we did. To pay all of that would have been impossible if we were trying to pay ourselves some kind of a, CEO salary, right? We wouldn't have been able to do it. So similarly, yeah, we're going to inject all of that back in, because yeah, we see the big picture, and we know that, a couple thousand now is probably worth a couple 100,000 later, right? If we reinvest and re-inject those profits into the business. So not planning on doing that, just planning on having that be the base funding and then paying that forward as far as reinvesting the next, the gross profits, taking net profits, injecting them back into the project for staking, for profit sharing, and then the base will be used to expand the next commercial run, which will continue to provide expansion and profit opportunities for our holders. But that first run, I'm psyched about because we already have it committed to be bought. So however big I can get it based on the scope of this pre-sale, I'm hyped about that. I want it to be everywhere.
Yeah. Yep. 100%. All right. So, let's see, where does that take me? That takes me to. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let you keep talking, Jay.
All right.
For a second.
All right. So yeah, for the pre-sale, yeah, we just want to talk about the pre-sale, which KYC audit and pool protection for investor safety is really kind of, I think, what we're focused on right now is delivering a high quality pre-sale, high quality investment opportunity for our holders. And so, obviously these types of things, as far as like, safety of investors, a lot of times you need that for new projects, right? But I believe that it's a statement about values too. So that's why we're enacting some of these features. For those of you that aren't familiar with pre-sale world, I do want to make sure that I mention that pool protection is one of those innovative products that I believe that they're offering, along with the hybrid option, which the hybrid option, for those of you that don't know, is in between pre-sale fair launch and a traditional pre-sale, which is, it has to be 50% of the cap, right? So 400 BNB hard cap, you'd have to have a 200 BNB soft cap. But their hybrid option gives you a balance in between the pre-sale fair launch, which a pre-sale fair launch, for example, is I think something that is become a meta of being overbought. The launches are never great. So I guess for us, it's about imparting our values with a partner for the launch pad like Presale World that is responsive to some of these toxic issues that are happening in the space. So I think, for those of you that aren't familiar with the hybrid option, it allows you to cap it at what you think is a reasonable amount where you can deliver an integrity, high value launch for your holders. And so it's not about like how many X's can we do at launch for us, because we know we're a long-term project, but it is about being responsible and capping it at an amount that I feel comfortable with marketing a launch for. So just know that a 600 BNB hard cap is a huge amount, and it's a big raise, and one that I believe that we're capable of, but also not a measure of success by any means. And so more so a statement of how high are we comfortable with marketing and raising before we move on to, launch, and I think for us, it's really, a big statement about our values that we want to impart on our holders. And, too, I'm tired of seeing all these overbought pre-sale fair launches that, fly 1,500, 2,000 BNB, and then everybody takes their BNB out and I don't blame them, right? Because they're not making any profit. They're like, I'll go make some X's somewhere else. But that creates a complete mess of a launch, a mess of a chart. And that's not something that we wanted to do or that we wanted to be a part of. So with Presale World, we went with their hybrid product. We're doing pool protection, which will refund you 30% of your investment if any project on Presale World's launch pad happens to rug, scam, or otherwise lay down after launch and everything else. So, I think that trying to impart our values onto our holders and what we feel, confidence in is really important in this space. So we aligned with Presale World's values, and those are some of the ways that we're trying to market this presale in a way that shows what we're all about. So again, which is like, buy before the 200 BNB raise, you get 10% bonus tokens. Buy before 400 BNB raise, you get 5% bonus tokens. And buy over 3 BNB, you get auto whitelisted. But we also have some more bonuses too, because that's just kind of like, if you've been following this project, we've done a ton of giveaways. We've given a ton back to the community, and we've done a ton to give back. So if you buy over 2 BNB, you get a bronze loot bag. The loot bag is something really new. We just kind of dropped some of those previews this morning, but it will allow you to customize your skunk with 3 attributes in the Skunkverse. So you can customize your skunk, and then you can mint an NFT based on the customization of your skunk. And if you like the way it looks, boom, you can mint it. So the bronze, silver, and gold loot bags, increasing ability to increasing likelihood that you will get a rare attribute from the collection if you mint the gold one. So in game, in Skunkverse minting, the Skunkverse will feature a virtual bar. It'll feature in-game upgrades and just a really fun environment with the dance floor. If you guys have seen the previews, Faster from Ape Swap's developing for us, and it's just been a really cool experience working with him. He's an absolute legend in developing features and interactions that we never even thought would be possible. So
Yeah, 100%, man. You know what? Real quick, let's just squash this. Roller Girl, are you listening?
oh, we got Roller Girl here. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. Hey, go ahead and ask your question.
I'm
go ahead.
listening anxiously. So,
What do you got?
can you tell us what happened with staking, the first launch?
What are you asking about specifically?
You
About
know
your
what
buddy
I'm
Face that
asking
we refunded?
You know exactly what I'm asking about. No, not about Face. What about all the
All
other
right,
people you didn't
listen.
There are
refund?
no other people.
Hang on. Wait.
I'm not taking it personal.
Wait,
I'm just
listen, guys.
asking you what happened
Hang
with
on.
staking. Can you explain?
Okay,
In
there you go.
general.
Yeah, and I'm happy to address anything, and we've stood behind everything that we've done. So you coming in here is no different than when you came into Fifi. It's the same situation. Only the fact of the matter is that everybody
won't
has
answer
been.
what happened with staking. The legitimate answer.
If you don't interrupt me, then I can get you your answer.
Listen. Yes, please. Let him finish. Let him answer the question.
Going back to staking, this is part of the reason why we are taking control and not allowing staking to be done by any outside partnerships or agencies. So I'm not going to get into any of that. However, yeah, absolutely. We had what happened was this. Anytime that we reduced the rate of staking, it needed to be claimed prior to the reduction, or you would feel that reduction in your token allocation. So for example, say you have 50,000 tokens that you have earned via staking. When we go to reduce that rate, let's just say for the intents and purposes, we cut the rate in half. So if we cut the rate in half, you have 50,000 tokens sitting there. You have to claim by the date that we kept pushing and saying, you have to claim your tokens before this date, or there won't be that many there claimable tokens for you. So it's not that you had 50,000 in your wallet, you got rugged, and now it's only 25,000. It was that the claimable amount would be reduced because of the contract call that we had to reduce the rate. It happens with every staking contract, every staking protocol. It's just, if you ask anybody that's familiar with staking, they'll rep that and say that that's true. So anyway, it's not a DSDC problem. However, we feel like it was, we needed to sort that out come V2, and that we wanted to take control of that here and do staking in-house. So what happened was, of course, people might have not been paying attention to their, to their exact, investment, right? Like, like we had talked about at the beginning, Poppa, I said I only keep about 5 altcoins or less so that I can keep track of everything. However, DSDC is not in the business of screwing anyone over, and we haven't been from the beginning. So all of those individuals, and by the way, we're talking about 99% of people were unaffected by the claim, which is why when you tried to rile everybody up and get everybody fired up, that there was like 1 or 2 people that actually were affected by the claim still. And everybody that I knew was sorted by that, including the person that I referenced at the beginning of this, had been sorted and reimbursed. It just took a headache, a little bit of, kind of hands-on reimbursement of those tokens. So for example, if somebody missed the claim date, let's go back to my example. You have 50,000 tokens. The staking deadline that we gave plenty of notice for every time, guys. Like, we would do a week's notice on the last one. So a week's notice, we pin it, we put it out on all our social media. I'd do multiple VCs. We even extended the time, like, so that we weren't, trying to hurt anybody's holdings. And then even after all of that, if you missed the deadline, we still reimbursed you. But the problem was, it was difficult to really identify people via blockchain that were screwed over, or anything that you want to call it. But in the fact of the matter is that if you had 50,000 tokens that were reduced to 25,000, you hit me up and said, hey, I missed the deadline, I just reimbursed you the 25,000, the difference. And you can see that. You can, Arian's an example from Ninja Lounge. And let's go back even further. It wasn't just like these tokens came from a magical pool that we have. So let's go back to the example with Arian. Arian reached out and said, hey, you know what? I was traveling. I missed the deadline. I'm sorry. Can you help me out? Absolutely. And it's not, Arian's no different than any other investor in DSDC. So quite simply, Arian watched me go and buy almost 2 BNB worth of stink on the chart and then directly send it to him. And he said, man, I feel so bad that you did that. Why did you do that? And he said, well, where did you think it was coming from? That mistake is on us. He said, well, I thought you had staking tokens that you had allocated and that you had a pool of staking tokens. I said, bro, those are the people's tokens. Like, those are already allocated for staking. This is an additional amount that we want to, compensate you for. So we're not going to pull it from there. Okay. So as a statement that we made to our community, we reimbursed and refunded everybody that was affected by those claims issues. But yeah, the V2 will help us take control of that, and in a lot of ways take ownership of staking and any issues that come along with it. And we have some measures in place that I believe will allow us to handle those types of issues better in the future. So that's it.
Can
And again, this has been full transparency from jump, right? Full transparency
Yeah,
of the project. So
100%,
whatever you guys
man.
got,
And you know what?
I'm ready to go.
Well, I mean, she, I don't know, she disappeared. She's
Yeah,
gone
because there's
now.
nothing to FUD about. There's nothing to FUD about.
Right.
So this is bullshit.
Well,
right?
and I will allow people to ask their questions, and I
I'm
know
glad
you
you
can
did.
answer them. So, I
I'm
have
glad
no
you did.
problem with that. But
Can I
she
just
didn't
ask
stick
a question
around
about,
for any
staking?
rebuttal. Yeah, go ahead, Carmelo. Go ahead.
Thank you. Buddy, Jay, you say something about that time limit. Is that because some restrictions in your staking contracts, or where is that time limit attached to?
Can you say that question again, just so I make sure I understand what you're asking?
You mentioned a certain time limit, and I guess it must be in blocks.
Oh.
But that time limit in because of your staking contracts, or where is that time limit? Is it where is that an aspect? Is it contract wise, or is it platform wise, or just policy?
Okay, so yeah, let me just elaborate on that. Okay, so you can understand what I'm saying here real quick. So all right, so let's say we got staking live right now. Okay, and I said May 1st we're going to have a reduction rate. Okay, so this is an introductory rate for staking, and we'll just say, all right, let's just not confuse anybody. Let me just say, going back to December, we'll say, okay, January 1st, guys, we're going to have a turnover and a change in the staking rate. So what we had to do previously was tell everybody like a week in advance. I'd say, make sure that you guys are claiming daily, and then claim right before the January 1st noon Eastern Standard Time deadline that we set in-house. And that meant that you had to claim before that date, because at that exact time, we would change the rate in the staking contract that is rewarding to our holders, and we would cut that by the percentage that we had mentioned. So that was the timeline. So like, for example, if you're an investor, you had to claim daily, and then come January 1 Eastern Standard Time at noon, you had to make sure that you had your tokens claimed, because that reduction rate would affect the unclaimed tokens that you had in your wallet. And again, guys, we have very active DSDC members. So this was not a problem for 98, 99% of users as verified on blockchain. We only had to sort a very small amount of people. But again, we didn't have to, because again, we harped on this point. 7 days advance notice, 3 or 4 VCs, multiple posts, and even an extension, 24-hour extension that we did just to make sure that everybody heard us, right? Because we didn't, obviously we're planning on sorting people afterwards, but if we don't have to, then it's just cleaner and easier for everybody. So yeah, absolutely, that's what we did. And that I think that explains the timeline that you're talking about. And if you didn't and you missed it, we sorted you afterwards, but it was up to you guys to reach out. So in Telegram, we said, hey, if you have issues, hit me up. And we stood behind it and sorted everybody out too. And we have all the hashes and everything for the people that we reimbursed. I believe like the last claim was only like 2 or 3 people even affected by it. I hope that answers your question. If not, let me know, man.
No, a lot, and it does, and it's because you have set a deadline, and then okay, so it was platform wise, okay, because I do know who Roller was speaking about, and I like that person actually that she's speaking about that was impacted about it, and I was just curious to understand a little bit more. I have a different approach than Miss Roller. Miss Roller is very spicy, let's say it like
Now,
that. And
I don't mind that at all, by the way. I don't mind anybody asking questions. I do mind when people do things like this. So for me, I come with screenshots of those conversations. I come with exported chats, and I come with BSC scan. So that's transparency. Somebody else may come with their own opinion, a generalization or a distortion or an outright lie about what happened. So as long as I can transparently back things up with the three sources I talked about, I'm good, man. I welcome it. Whatever you got. And by the way, that Roller Girl and that other person, they're not banned from DSDC. They're not banned from my crypto tavern. That's not who I am as a person. So if somebody wants to spice things up for their own whatever personal gain or their own image, that's okay. You can go ahead and do that route, but I'm not going to feed into it. And I'm maintaining full transparency with this project as we have with everything else.
definitely. One question that comes to mind: you said that it was another project staking pool, or was it your own?
It was a combination of things, right? It was a combination of the DApp itself, the staking contract, and also we had used an outside partner to develop our Stinks staking protocol. But I'm not blaming anybody for those issues. Those issues were, not anybody's to own except for ours. That's DSDC, and I think we owned all of those issues, and reimbursed and corrected anything that had happened. And again, that's why we're here. That's why we got the support of the community, and that's why these issues were not taken out of hand or out of context. So that's it.
Well,
I'd
thanks a
just
lot,
like to.
guys, for
I'd like to
answering.
say just a little something. I think you're doing a great job, and I mean, this is the place to come if you want to, state your case. If you want to come to Astronaut Lounge, Poppa's the man. I mean,
Absolutely.
Poppa keeps everybody straight, if you know what I mean. And he's my friend, he's your friend, and I don't mean to be kissing his ass on this call, but I kiss his ass enough. But you guys have done a great job. I'm excited for whatever you guys have next, and all the best to you, mate. I mean, you're doing the right thing.
I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. And again, if you go into an AMA, then be prepared to have somebody ask you anything. And I welcome that too. And I love that Poppa does that in the format that respect and the cred that he gets from you guys is well deserved too. Because if there's a question, if there's an issue, bring it up. And actually, Roller Girl, absolutely no issues with Roller Girl whatsoever. If she wants to come and ask those questions and bring it up, I'm happy to answer it. But again, there's not much to it, right? It's kind of like, yeah, we had some staking issues and then we refunded everybody. So it's not really a news story. You know what I mean? But like somebody might try to make it one because they're bored. I don't know. But that's what it is.
Don't even worry
again,
about it, mate.
I don't really have a huge.
I
don't have a huge news story for you about it. It was really kind of uneventful. Less than 2% of users probably impacted, and they were all sorted. So that's it.
Here is that this could be solved really fast in the way of just avoiding these things in the future, because allow me to just like speak with the guy who was actually impacted by this, and then let me just have him once and for all, let's say that because you said that all was repent, because then I can just come back and then say all is good, and I will have a talk to Roller too, and then all is settled, and it won't need.
And you know what? I appreciate you doing that. And you know what else? I would even go one step further and say that I would welcome all of them back into the club. Like there's no hard feelings on my end whatsoever. Like I feel like it was a misunderstanding that was blown up. And to be honest with you too, that group, I love that group because they were in DSDC and like doing bong hits in the VC and having beers with us, and like I wish that they were still a part of it. So, from my end, it's not even like I'm mad about them bringing this up. I actually feel the complete opposite way, that I would love to have them back into the club and welcome them with open arms anytime if they want to. So that's where I'm at with it. And that's been the attitude of DSDC from the beginning. We got nothing to worry about on that end,
I'm happy
So
to
tell them
hear
that
that
too.
because we are impacted because of this. Because of our dog partners, we are impacted a little bit. I will take that with you guys in private instead. I'm just trying to sort it all out so we all can show love and get on with everything we're doing, all of us, and just sort it out and get it out of the world once and for all. And then, nobody needs to keep wasting time on this, including you, Jay, including you.
Well, thank you for that. And
100%.
also,
Yes.
and even going on too, like if you feel like somebody else has been impacted that has never reached out to me or that I don't know about, I will look back on BSC scan, figure out what needs to happen, and I will still sort them. So like if there's some unknown thing that I don't know about, I'll go back to BSC scan, and we've got the V2 coming up. I still have time. So guys, I'm telling you right now too, like if something comes up when you're looking into it, hit me up and let's sort it out, because I want everybody to be on board with the V2 and just get in on the fun and in on the club and in on this ride that we're about to take off on.
100%, man. That's super based.
You're
Super
saying all
based.
the right things,
All right.
mate. You're saying all the right things. And, if I can just say really quickly, again, you shouldn't feel like you're in the hot seat. You come on and you've already been in the hot seat. And that's why, Poppa calls it the heat.
Listen,
Can
right.
you stand
Listen,
the heat?
Jay knows he's always in the hot seat when it comes to Poppa. So,
The hot seat's
that's the
easy
whole
when you're transparent, though, bro. I mean, that's the thing
right.
too, and it's not
100%.
any kind of like arrogant thing. It's just if you're fully transparent, the hot seat's pretty easy. I mean, there might be like you gave me some actually good feedback in our tavern AMA about the 10 BNB buy that I've been trying to freaking change.
Yes.
But like that kind of thing, I'm open.
Yeah.
I love to hear it.
That kind of thing. Let's get to speaking about that. So yes, did that change? Okay, so yes, initially there was a 10 BNB by max on the pre-sale, which I thought was a little bit, too much, as far as the pre-sale goes. And Jay said he was going to try and fix that. So where have we got with that, Jay?
Yeah, it's a little more complicated than I thought, Poppa. Of course, like everything else is well intentioned that you try to improve, right? So I know the pre-sale world and Dr. Skunk right now are talking through it, and we're going to do the best we can. But the tough thing is like after the pool's been created and then we have an affiliate link tied to it. Now we're we're approaching like the deadline. So I mean, if you can see the screen right here, guys, with the 2, 3, 4, 5 BNB, look at how nice and clean it is up to that 5 BNB. It would work out perfectly for a 5 BNB max buy. However, it's currently still 10 BNB, and it's going to be down to the wire to see if we can get it created and get everything corrected. Because the other thing that we are also, working out behind the scenes, like I mentioned, is the 5% affiliate link program that Presale World created for us. Which, I mean, for Presale World to do that, I'm bullish on how they feel about us. But get yourself an affiliate link, guys. While I have the plug here, get yourself an affiliate link and earn 5% of the BNB that gets contributed via your link. Shill it out. We've got DSDC members that have been shilling this.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to create a link, and that is how we are going to decide who is the winner of the whitelist for the biggest buy comp from the lounge. You got to use my link.
Yeah, affiliate link is no joke. I mean, I watched a couple where top contributors got, 5, 10 BNB. One I watched was 60 BNB for the top affiliate link. It's no joke. When you get into a pre-sale like that, you can shill it out.
I tell you what, the biggest buyer gets the affiliate money and the white sale. We're going to put that out there. I don't want the BNB. I just need to judge the comp. So the biggest buyer gets the affiliate money and the white sale, the NFT.
Dope.
So there we go. Perfect. That's awesome.
Thanks, Poppa.
All right. Yeah. So man, that should just kind of really threw me off, man. Maybe I shouldn't have opened it up like that.
No, I'm glad you did. The chat was distracting me, Poppa. I'm glad you called it out and we addressed it. That was good.
I honestly,
Thank
I had just looked at the chat and I'm like, what is going on here? I'm trying to find out, and that's why I just open it up. Like, go ahead and ask your questions here. I know
Please
she has
Yeah,
don't
no problem
misunderstand
speaking,
my
so
questions. Please don't misunderstand my questions. It was not coming from a bad place.
I don't think it
no,
was
no,
either.
and you know what? And honestly, I mean, you stuck around to actually get the reply. That's what kind of annoyed me with Roller Girl is, I allowed her to ask her questions, and then yes, I did. I muted her because she wasn't going to stop, and while the questions was being answered, and I was going to unmute her so she could reply after the question was answered, and she left. So I don't, I'm not going to have a bunch of bickering and arguing in my AMA. There's going to be questions and there's going to be answers. That's it. Not, just a bunch of loud nonsense.
No, it's all good. I'm happy to address anything too. And like I said, if anything else
Yeah.
comes up, we got full transparency. Just hit me up and I'll sort whatever we got to sort. It's not an issue.
No,
There's
man.
not really a news.
No.
It's kind of uneventful. Staking had some errors. We corrected them. Everybody was sorted. Anything outstanding, hit me up. I got you.
And and you know what, that kind of speaks to why you're actually going to a V2. It's because of the issues with, paying the constant 1% tax to, to an outsourced dev. All right. Well, that's not feasible for long term or fair. And with this staking, you had to switch from that too. And you are making everybody whole as it goes. You can't help if somebody does not contact you to get whole and then turns around and floods. You can't help that. So
Yeah, I
I
think
wanted to
that's
open it up for the questions, and you had the answers. Whether or not anybody stuck around to get them is on them.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And like, if anything comes up, I got you guys. You know it. You know where to find me. Hit me up. It's all good. We'll figure it out. And like I said, I welcome everybody back to DSDC too, because I do feel bad, and I actually got a lot of love for that crew that we're talking about. So yeah, hit me up if there's
me too.
No worries.
Me too.
I think that we have
for sure,
a mission. Right? Like when you're in the tavern and you hear us calling out a scammer, or you hear us putting somebody on blast for doing something stupid with a contract or with a launch, and you hear us kind of investigating to try to keep our investors safe, and rollers out there doing the same type of thing. Like obviously we got the same mission. I was
involved in one the other day.
Right? I mean, you do the same thing. So we're all aligned with that. Like that's our mission here. Just keep the safe clean, keep the space clean and safe, and call out scammers and pieces of shit that we find along the way, and call them out. Make sure that investors don't get rugged if we can help it. If we can avoid it on the front end. I mean, you and I were even eyeing that one the other day going, we got to bring these guys back in. Let's look at it. So, I mean, it's the same type of vibe. I get it. You want to make sure that you're safe. So we're all in that same mission. So like, there's no reason for us to have any kind of separation or something between us or hostility between us, like, because we all have that same mindset. So I'm with it. If I can help heal that, I'm with it too.
100%, man. All right, so let's see. We are way off track. Sorry, my daughter is throwing a fit now. So let's get back on track here. All right, the business. Where is it registered and why?
Yeah, great question. I flashed that up there, right? The Ohio registration. So Randy's following the path of least resistance with a very complex legal system that goes from state to state, not only legal, but also operational. You have to have a license to distribute, and then you have to have a license to distribute, and then you have to have a license to sell to distribution, sell to retail. Those vary from state to state, and reciprocity, you'd love to have it, but it's just not there. So yeah, man, your home state, brother, is where we started the kickoff point in Ohio. And I think that's because the brewing will be done there. The B1 license will allow us to sell to distribution, and our distributor wants us to have that initial in Ohio. So we're following his guidance, and also legal. So it's kind of the triangulation of those things: brewing, marketing, distribution, and legal. So that's where we're getting that jump off point, because the beer will be initially brewed in Ohio, and the distribution buyout that he's planning on doing will take place in Ohio. So we kind of have the problem that we have is we have to work it backwards. We've got an awesome contact in a 6-state territory he's at the top and willing to push us to the top of his list to push into retail. But we have to then get licensed to be able to accept his offer in those 6 states. And so it's not a clean process, a fast process, or an inexpensive process, which is why we're starting, again, path of least resistance, starting in Ohio and getting licensed to brew and to sell to distribution initially here will be the reason why we're flashing all that Ohio stuff right there. It's not just for you, Poppa, even though we love you, man, but it's not just because you're from there.
Well, no, actually, you know what? It could actually help you with me being from there, because I could probably get you into some clubs and bars, at least in the Central Ohio area.
Awesome, man.
So
We got to connect though. Yeah.
that could possibly help you. But Davey threw me off again. I don't even remember what I was going to ask now. So as far, oh yeah, Maurice did have a, I'll throw this out there for everybody. Maurice,
I lost you, Poppa, after Maurice. I'm sorry. Poppa, are you there?
my bad, man, my bad. I tried to walk
You're
outside
good.
with my phone. That was my bad.
You're good.
So, anyways, where I was going with that, Maurice had a great question about, shipping and
Yeah.
age and how that's going to work. Are people going to be KYC'd to buy these products with Stink? So, the different age limits on buying the CBD and alcohol in different states and different countries. How's that going to work?
Yeah, age verification in the U.S. is something that I know Randy's obviously working on and is comfortable with, as far as us being able to, we got to have full compliance with our legal team's asks, So for us, it's got to be complete on the up and up, full compliance. So age verification is a part of that process. But you know how I believe he's planning to work it out is to initially verify you somehow using a third party online encrypted, so that you can kind of maintain your anonymity in the DeFi space should you choose to. But then taking it that step further, you have to have an ID, when it's shipped. The shipping will include that it's an over 21 item, and you'll have to verify that with the Shipping Connect at your residence, right? So when you go to sign it, you got to provide ID. If you've ever done that in the US, you kind of know what I'm talking about. You got to show your ID and then sign for it afterwards. So that'll be part of the process. But internationally, there's a lot of issues that come up. You mentioned one of them, age. The other one is, cost of shipping. And then the third is international regulations, shipping those products overseas and through customs. So lots of headaches, lots of issues. But again, we want to provide options for holders. So if that doesn't work out in some way, shape, or form, whether it be just due to you not wanting to dox your physical address or your location or whatever that be, we respect that, man. I respect that big time, actually. So for those of you that don't want to do that, don't want anything to do with that, we'll give you the BUSD equivalent of any of this that we're talking about. For in real life merch items, products, we'll give you the BUSD equivalent. And even that even goes so far as if you win one of those items in a prize or a contest, we'll give you the BUSD equivalent of that item. And then, the other part too is if it's for some reason a constraint shipping wise, whether that's cost prohibitive or really legally prohibitive, regulation wise, we will be there to be able to offer you the BUSD equivalent. While that doesn't get the beer or the merch or the gummies in your hands, it's a bit of a buzzkill to let down that we can't do that if we run into that roadblock. we do want to still provide, some kind of a value for you, until you can get it, because we have a goal to get there, but it just might take us a little bit of time to get there internationally is what I'm talking about. Because again, the reach of DSDC, we have an international presence, which I love. I love that we have the ability to like be in our chat, have an international reach where I go, all right, show me the beer that you're drinking right now, send a pic. And then I see all this international flavor, man. I love it. I love to learn about the different beers all around the world and see different stuff I've never seen, and learn about it from our holders and interact with people from different backgrounds, cultures, and countries. It's been such a cool thing and such a cool vibe. Like I love to be able to, I'm proud of that. I think that's cool. So along with that, we've got to have in our minds and in our goals, in our roadmap, the international expansion, which will take place sustainably, organically, and scalable based on our progress, like everything else that we've done.
100%. Yeah, man. It is very difficult to scale that out, internationally. But that is the like you touched on, that is the awesome thing about crypto and communities, from all over the place. You've got contacts all over the world, potentially, that have the right connections for importing and exporting and, all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
It is a big task to expand, but it's, even within the micro expansion that we're planning, right? We have to focus on the here and now, right? So going from Ohio to the other 6 states, and then from those 6 states to the 48 continental, and then from there out to international, and even, close borders. Like Maurice mentioned, a connect that we're going to get on with the Canadian option to brew there,
yeah.
the contract brewer. So yeah, it's just kind of organically, sustainably, and all of that we've been doing with the other aspects of the project. We're going to mirror those for the beer.
I was actually talking to Maurice at the same time the AMA was going on. I was talking to him in a different chat, all about that. we were talking about you while you guys were talking.
Nice.
But yeah, I love that he is going to hook you up with that connect, and I'm going to try and hook you up with some wine, and we can try and get that out there, at least for the distribution wise, as the beer goes.
Yeah, thank you.
I
Awesome.
love I love beer, and your flavor profile on the lager is my thing. You said it tastes like Yingling, so I'm all about that.
Yeah, it's really a nice flavor profile too. It's very open, just drinkable. It's going to appeal to a lot of people and in a lot of settings. It's not just like that's what I didn't want, was it to have like a real specific, sharp, identifiable flavor that might turn people one way or another. So it's going to be very drinkable, right. Open profile. It's just going to be a beer drinker's beer, man. A beer drinker's lager.
100%. And you want to touch on, we got to kind of hurry this up. I got another about 25 minutes. So you want to touch on what we talked about, with, like you said, you were testing out the light beers and kind of distributing that to a different market for a cheaper price.
Yeah, are you say that again, Poppa? Say the question again. I'm sorry, I didn't catch all of it.
Okay, so you were talking about you were drinking light beer earlier because you were testing out different ones, looking for different flavor profiles that you could market to different genres, different you know what I mean, different age groups. We'll just go ahead and call it the fucking college crowd that
Yeah.
are drinking the cheap beer. But Drunk Skunks is definitely a very marketable brand. So if you can make an affordable, good tasting beer, then it could definitely do awesome. And what you're planning on doing for marketing around
Yeah, so we really had discussed initially of getting a DSDC lager, right, which is a really just all around drinkable, nice beer, Yingling type flavor profile, and just an accessible, easy to drink beer, and then a pale ale, something that might appeal to beer drinkers that want a little bit higher alcohol content, closer to 6%, and also similar in a flavor profile to Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, which is probably one of my
Right.
favorite pale ales and one of the most popular pale ales. But
More
for
of an
the
IPA.
third beer, yeah, similar towards that that vibe, hoppier taste, and have some more flavor to it, where you can taste that, pick up on that, a little more juiced up, a little heavier. And then we had talked about for the third beer initially, we said, should we do an imperial? Maybe something with a higher alcohol content where, it goes towards like an imperial pale ale, an imperial stout, 9%. We could even maybe kind of play off the toxic beer. But recently, I know that Randy and I have been talking about Skunk Light. And I think Skunk Light could be the actual third beer in the line now that we have started to even develop that. We're even doing some tastings on that now, because I think Skunk Light is going to appeal to the college crowd. If we can get a budget type of beer, not, low quality, but, higher quality brew with a lower price point and market it towards the right audience, we're going to pick up on not only people that, are, the slim cans, right? I know you're not a big fan of the Bud Light Next, but the ultra light beers, whether it's the Mick Ultras, or whatever it is, the ultra light beers, like it or not, it's got a huge audience and also marketable to the younger crowd, and the younger, college crowd is a marketable, audience that could go viral, because you have a huge opportunity to, obviously that's a huge audience that's more receptive to cryptocurrency investments in general. So why not go with the light beer and target the audience that you're looking for with that beer specifically to try to expand the club? So I love the marketing opportunities that could take place at all, all across the country and in college towns, and promotions at college bars that could kick off the Skunk Light promotions that could go, I believe, hugely viral. So I'm really bullish on Skunk Light as the third beer. That's what I will push with Randy, and I think that he's receptive to it. So we're kind of already starting to chug some light beers and sample some different light beers and get into that vibe a little bit, because like we're trying to do it 5 steps down the line, so that we can have a future for DSDC, because we know that we have funding, we know that we have those opportunities with the connects that we have, and we don't want to be at the point where, how it is with development on a project, Poppa, too. Like we don't want to be at the point where we reach an end point, we reach a milestone, like we fully mint, and now we're like, all right, well, what do we do? Or we get the beers out and they're going off, and we're like, all right, well, now we got to develop another beer. No, we want to have that flavor profile, that plan, that specific beer roadmap developed and ready to fire, So that's the idea. Absolutely. Skunk Light, let's go.
Let's fucking go. I
But
know
can you imagine Skunk Light, Poppa, in Columbus? Like your home, I don't like in that college town.
Oh, I already told you, man. I mean, the whole, you go on campus after a weekend, and all you see is a silver Natty Light cans. So
let's make them Skunk Light cans.
Exactly.
Let's do it.
Let's see a silver and black, or black and silver Skunk Light cans. I think it should be silver and black. Silver and black Skunk Light cans. The regular should be the black and silver.
Ohio State.
That's Ohio State, man. Yeah, Miss JH. She, I mean, Cincy State isn't any better. They're all drinking Natty Light too.
Absolutely. Let's go.
All right. So, all right. Real quick, give me a 2-minute elevator pitch, and I'm going to open this up for some questions because we got to wrap this up. I've got another AMA in 19 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I think you guys have heard me talk probably more than maybe you would like to, but thanks, Poppa, for the floor, man. I appreciate it. It's been cool. Yeah, for DSDC, Drunk Skunks Drinking Club, guys, you know where we are with the project in terms of transparency, and we had a great moment here in VC for that, to demonstrate that and put that on full display for everybody. We welcome it. Come join our Telegram. If you got any questions, you can either do that right out there in the open with any kind of question that you have. If you feel more comfortable DMing me, go for that too. But let me give you that quick pitch, guys. Stinks pre-sale 4/11. That's tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 3 p.m. UTC. So we go live tomorrow with a 20 BNB soft cap. It's a 600 BNB total cap. But I talked about why we're doing that with the hybrid option and why we're going that route. We will have KYC, perfect audit, pool protection, all of those safety measures in place. There's really a ton of reasons to invest as a potential pre-sale shopper. So for you guys, think about it as a V2 that's been set up by people that don't like V2s, okay? Like for us, with the V2, this is 6% or less of the total token supply being airdropped to OG diamond hand holders that have had an opportunity to exit the V1 and chose not to. So they had an opportunity at a healthy market cap to do that as well. So it wasn't like, I'm at such a loss. What does it matter? No, that was not the case at all. Come into the Telegram. Anything I'm saying here, guys, it's not lip service. Verified in the Telegram. Come by, check us out, DM us, hit up a team member, whatever you need to do to get on board with the Stink pre-sale, because I want you guys to get in on it. I think it's a good opportunity for people to grab a bag of Stink now at pre-sale prices, which may never be seen again. So for us, the in real life products, the beer business, the cannabis gummies will fuel a price spike and longevity for the project. So if you want a project that has short-term opportunities for gains via the OG Skunks, maybe, flipping and increasing in price, and the Stone Skunks mint going live on 4/20, and some long-term opportunities for Stink, for staking, for growth of the market cap based on our growth and progress of the products that we have, really represents a lot of diverse investment opportunities for holders. So always do your own research, guys, but check it all out and let us know if you have any questions. As I mentioned before, DSDC is here. We've been around since October. You guys know where to find me. I'm in the Crypto Tavern too, hosting AMAs with Bromo and Marshmallow, and of course in the DSDC chat. So thanks, Poppa, for everything, man. I think that was the best quick pitch I could give after the day I had, but we're still bringing it, and I'm happy to interact or whatever you guys want to do as far as questions go, man. I'll stay as long as you want.
Yeah, brother. I mean, you've been talking for about 5 hours straight now, so I'm not going to subject you to any more. I've like I said, I've got to talk for another hour or two after this. So I am going to open it up. Does anybody in the audience have any questions? If you do, come up one at a time. I'm not reading questions in chat. Sorry, I just don't have time to do that.
Yeah, whatever you guys got. Happy to answer anything you got for
me. Yep. I'm not scrolling through the whole chat. If nobody has any questions, we can wrap this up so I can smoke a cigarette and go to the bathroom before the next AMA.
Yeah, you got to have a little time in between, man. I know that one.
Yeah, I got about 15 minutes. So, yeah, with that said, man, so what time does the pre-sale start? Hard cap, soft cap? I know you touched on that a little bit. Just go over that real quick again for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be tomorrow. That's with Pre-Sale World at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. UTC. So make sure you come to our Telegram, get an affiliate link before then. I think you have the information pinned to or posted to Poppa. So make sure you guys grab an affiliate link. You'll earn 5% of all the BNB that gets contributed when people follow your link. And that's no joke. That's a nice way to earn. I've seen a lot of people make, even a little bit of extra BNB on that. We're happy to give that back. We've also got some crazy bonuses going on. And if you have time tomorrow, come join our pre-sale pre-sale live VC at the same exact time. We'll be live in DSDC's Telegram, and we'll be doing all kinds of fun stuff, giveaways. Get yourself a chance to win. We actually have levels and similar to how you were doing it here with Crimson in the Astronaut Lounge. So we were doing multipliers for giveaways. We did one this morning. It was $5 in Stinks times the multiplier. So, and also we gave away some whitelists for Stone Skunks. We're kind of holding those really tightly. So when you get one, feel good about it, because there's not that many that we're going to be giving out. And even with these purchases for pre-sale world for the buys, you know, they're really not going to be that many that we give away. Even if everybody bought it out with 3 VNB buys, we'd only be giving out 200 total, which never happens mathematically, right? But just potentially thinking about a bigger collection, not as big as the OG Skunks, but think about it as a smaller collection of that. But there's obviously opportunities to win some fun stuff and have some fun here tomorrow. So I hope you join us, man. Thanks, Poppa.
Yes, man, 100%. Yeah, man, it's been awesome having you here. You know, obviously this was not one of those hard AMAs that some people are used to around here from me, because I've already asked all the hard questions. So it's kind of, you know, you basically touched on all the answers during the presentation. Well, I kind of had to cut you off a little bit so I could pretend like I was doing my job.
Well, thanks, man. And really a good way to address all those concerns and things like that too. So I love that. That was great. Thank you for addressing that and calling that out, and happy to answer anything that comes up as a result of it too. Just hit me up or come to Telegram or DM, whatever you guys want to do. It's all good.
Yeah, you guys heard it. If anybody has any issues with, you know, the V1 migration, whatever happened with staking, just hit Jay up and he'll take care of you. So that is definitely super base, Jay. I appreciate that. Yeah, it causes me a lot less headache. So that's awesome. All right. So with that said, I am going to go ahead and wrap this up. And everybody, thank you for coming to the Drunk Skunks AMA, Drunk Skunks Drinking Club AMA. Me and Jay, or at least I got drunk while Jay was talking. Jay, you know, didn't have time. So, you know, that was pretty cool too. That was pretty cool too. So, with that said, guys, thank you guys for coming, and please stick around because we are gonna do some trivia in the chat before the next AMA to win the 2 OG Skunks. But Jay, actually, let me finish. Stop this recording, and then you can pick some winners real quick. But again, thank you guys, everybody, for coming to Astronaut Lounge for the Drunk Skunks Drinking Club AMA. Jay, it's been awesome having you. I'm Poppa Stonks, and we are out.